This is 10 in 10. 10 questions in 10 minutes with a college faculty member on a topic related to human health and well-being.
On this episode of 10 in 10, we are joined by Dee Gillen. Dee is a kinesiology and physical activity instructor in the College of Public Health and Human Sciences at Oregon State. She also coordinates the university's faculty staff fitness program. She talks with us about staying active during the pandemic and shares some creative tips to keep your body moving while at home.
Hi, Dee. Thanks so much for being here with us today.
Hi, Alexis. Thanks for having me.
Now, let's go ahead and just jump into it. Can you speak to the importance of staying active while many of us work and learn from home?
It's so hard to stay active when you're confined in your house, especially when we've had some, weather and smoke and not having other places to go when there's groups of people. And exercise and staying active is so key, not only for your body and the physiology in your body, but for your brain and your overall well-being. So it is such a huge thing to make exercise happen in your day that it can help you both physically and mentally.
So for those of us who don't know, can you explain the science behind body movement and what does body movement do for us physiologically?
Body movement does things physiologically and mentally that are just amazing. I think we all go out trying to find some magic pill to make us be healthier or be stronger. And quite honestly, I am convinced that exercise is the magic pill. It helps us with our acts of daily living. It increases our lean body mass and decreases our fat mass. So it helps us have a better body composition. It increases our metabolism and our energy burning. So it helps us just become that machine of a body to be able to run like we should. And then we have prevention of cardiovascular disease by improved measures of our blood pressure and cholesterol, decreased incidence of diabetes by a better glucose outcome on our blood sugar. And we have stronger muscles, tendons, thicker bones. With that, our posture is better and more range of motion, less injuries, less falls for those that are older, and less low back pain for any of us that have been sitting around on our computers. Or I've been standing, but I've been even standing too long in one position working is just really hard on your body and your feet, your knees, your back. And overall, I think the enhanced sense of well-being really pays off. It just helps you feel better self-confidence and it decreases your stress. It really just lets some of that day go away and having some of that tension decrease as well. So it's just so many magic things that exercise does for you.
At the start of the pandemic, gyms were closed and outdoor recreational areas had limited access. What are some ways to continue exercising or training without the typical equipment, atmosphere, and routine?
We had to be really creative because we have to think outside the box. And I think we still are thinking outside the box on how to even make in-person activities work again. But there's so many creative things that have come out of this. There were already YouTube videos of fitness routines that were out there, but I think a lot of people stepped up. A lot of things came to be. There can be Zoom synchronous classes out there. We did some pre-recorded material with faculty staff fitness. So we launched an asynchronous fitness program for our physical activity course programs for students. We had synchronous classes going all of spring term, all of summer term, and we still have remote classes this fall. So we are really trying to make people still be able to have access to the fitness like they're used to, but just from the safety of their home. And we had to be creative. So getting soup cans and laundry detergent or dishwasher detergent bottles you could fill with water or sand to make it heavier and use that as dumbbells. Equipment has become quite scarce to buy. And try to make everyone in your cohort make this a high priority so you can make it teamwork and come together and move together and support each other in that. I think that's a most important piece, is just coming together to stay fit.
What advice do you have for those of us that are lacking motivation to work out at home?
Oh man, it is a hard time for that. And I think breaking things up into smaller bouts is a really key feature. It'll add up over time. So if you have 5 minutes, take it. If you can go out and walk around your block 3 times a day, it's better than staying in your house and doing nothing. So taking your mindset, I think, is a big piece about it, and saying anything is better than nothing and making it happen with that. High intensity interval training, if people are comfortable and physically able, are really nice ways to metabolically charge your body and get you going. 1 minute of work and 15 seconds of rest, or 30 seconds of work and 15 seconds of rest, and doing some activities such as push-ups and dips and a wall sit and jumping jacks. Something that we maybe think is too simple, but it gets it done. And so I think going back to simplicity is really a thing. And scheduling it, so putting it in your calendar just like a meeting. So putting it onto your Outlook so that your colleagues know, or letting your friends know, putting it where it's just a main part of your day. That's got to be what we have to do there.
So with winter approaching, and as we've seen with smoke consuming the West Coast in September, it can be difficult to get outside and exercise. What advice do you have for staying active indoors?
So I'd say with that scheduling, making a game plan. So putting your time on and planning what you're going to do. It's just like if you're doing an eating plan or making things happen for the week. Map it out on your days. Don't knock yourself down if you don't make it, but do your best to stay on that schedule. I like to do it with a calendar. So I still go old school physical calendar, but you can do it electronically as well, and put little stars on those days you made exercise happen, because you can physically see it. You see that, wow, I did all these things. And so then you can give yourself a reward. So having a reward system that feeds back into the activity. So maybe I'm going to get a new pair of tennis shoes if I am working really hard at staying consistent for a while.
What is one of your favorite exercises or stretches to do, and why?
I teach step and kickboxing, and I do cardio dance. So those kind of come into my love, which has been really hard during the pandemic, because it's kind of, I get it. It's kind of weird to do right now. You know, you're in there, but I have been recording material in those genres just to keep moving in the way I enjoy and my heart loves. So doing that, I'd say, gosh, one of the best stretches out there is just even what I call a figure 4. And it's when you cross your ankle across your knee, and then you can do it laying on your back, you can do it seated, you can do it standing and sit down, but it really opens up your hips and releases your back all at one time. It's a really nice stretch that I feel like everybody should do every day.
Parents aren't the only ones that are confined to home right now. What tips do you have for keeping kids active?
I have 2 kids that are confined at home, and boy, I tell you, when they need to get bouncing, they need to move. Some parents really love to plug in and use like YouTube or Go Noodle or other things. I find I don't want my kids on any more screens by the time they're done, especially now that they're doing some remote school. So my daughter, actually, I asked her to do it, and she started doing it, and she uses our stairs in the house. She gets her music. She's a new teenager. She gets her music, and she runs up and down the stairs. My family and I love to have dance parties, so we'll have a dance party, or we'll set up a family boot camp where we all work out together. And I think that is such a key thing for passing on healthy behaviors, that you demonstrate that you are doing those same things, but why don't we do it together, and we can all learn together with that and work together. Another fun idea, I think, is, and I use this in the weight room with adults as well, but have a deck of cards and assign, okay, all 9s are push-ups, or all kings are squats, and shuffle that up, and you can make it a game that whatever comes out is what we have to do.
So with nearly 25 years of experience, you've held an array of positions in the world of fitness, from personal trainer to kinesiology instructor and leading OSU's faculty staff fitness program. Can you share how you turned your passion into a career and the options available for exercise enthusiasts to do the same?
Oh man, I just was talking with a student about how a career is not always in a straight line, and that you gotta follow your passions as they go, but maybe it's not always in one direction. And so being flexible, and finding where your heart lands is very important. I always loved movement. I did dance when I was younger and sports when I was younger. And when I was an undergrad, I wanted to go into physical therapy. And when I did more internships, I discovered that I was kind of down with working with people that were always injured and wanted to have a little more excitement with who I was working with. And I started working in corporate wellness and fitness in my graduate school years. I worked with some major corporations and really loved it. I love that I could tap into people when they're at work, and how can we make your life outside of the home be as well as possible. This kind of teaching group fitness was the first thing I ever did. And honestly, it's a great thing for students to understand, is that if you can teach some of these skills, this can get you a graduate student position when you're in grad school. And for the exercise enthusiasts, it's a very fun field. And just being educated in it really is the best way to go, because you're going to have more success in connecting with others and more success in others having the strongest outcomes. And when you have the science behind it, you can really make differences for everybody.
So what other things have you been doing that's helping your stress level during this time?
I've been very creative. It's funny, like all of a sudden I had a year or two where I wasn't writing as much new content, especially for classes I'm teaching, and something comes in my head and I'm putting it down, revamping all my courses. It's just been really creative.
What are you reading or watching or listening to? Do you have any recommendations?
I found that the International Dance and Exercise Association, the IDEA group, they are now putting out fitness podcasts on Spotify. And so I've been listening to those. They have their fitness journal, which has little tidbits of research articles. And it's been fun to listen to when on a walk or something like that, or cleaning the house. And it's little chunks of continuing education that I feel would affect anybody, whether you are whatever age you are, whether you're in fitness as a profession or in fitness as a hobby.
Well, thank you, Dee, so much. You shared so many great tips and resources. I know our audience will enjoy them. I hope you have a great weekend, and we'll talk soon.
Thanks, Alexis. It was fun being here with you.